Welcome back to HISD Unscripted. We are here with some special people today to kind of talk about local community partnerships and just some of our CTE students. And so I'm here with...
Hi, I'm Bena Glasscock. I'm the Director of Support Services for Hereford ISD.
John Galland from Whiteface Ford.
Adam Pena, I'm the Media Coordinator for Hereford ISD.
And I'm Kara Esquivel, the Director of Communications and Media. So, Mr. Galland, we're excited that you're here today, and Bena, you too. Thank y'all for coming in to join us on our podcast. So we know that the Ford dealership, y'all are huge supporters of our school district and our students. So today we're just going to kind of talk about some of the ways that y'all give back and y'all work with our students in the workforce and stuff like that. So kind of going into, we'll start with like CTE. Can you just tell us a little bit about like how this partnership began between y'all two, and you know what y'all do with our students, what y'all do, you know, how y'all work together?
Okay, it actually began before my time. So it's how long have they worked? Have we had kids?
Sure. Yeah, we've had students from Hereford ISD start our program interning and getting certified as a technician since 2012. So we currently employ 85 employees. And what that means is in our service department specifically, we need 4 new technicians to start every year to keep up with attrition from guys that retire or move away. And so the program allows students to start in a dual credit training program called the ACE program, where they can actually do online training through Ford Motor Company. They can gain up to basically a year's worth of dual credit courses, which is about $17,000 towards what they would spend if they did it outside of the high school program. Once they finish that, they can come in as an intern with us and then go through our training program.
So through CTE in general, we have a lot what we call work-based learning. So through all of our programs of study, we have kids that go out into the community and learn workforce. But the thing with Whiteface Ford is one of the better ones, because the kids get paid and get that, like you said, the dual credit and the credit, and then can go on even after high school.
So at the beginning of every school semester, we host a breakfast, and they bring over all of the junior and senior CTE students. I believe this last semester we had about 60 students arrive. And we do a breakfast, and then they pair up in groups of about 10 with different technicians, and they rotate through about 10 minutes with each technician just to get to ask questions, find out if it's something they'd be interested in. Then we'll start an interview process. So there might be 10 or 15 kids that interview for it. We'll select 8 and typically narrow down to 4 after a few months, and then offer 2 of those 4 an opportunity to go to the college. And a lot of times that college is free of cost to them, depending on their circumstances. They spend 2 years at the school, and they alternate every 3 months. So half the time is in our shop learning the skills they learned previously at school, and then they go back to school and just alternate through a 2-year period.
What a great program. So, Ben, kind of going off of that, like what are some skills that they start out learning in our automotive program that kind of transition into what they need to learn in the workforce? And you can, John, if you want to kind of chime in on that too.
So in the classroom itself, they learn just basic skills, the basic automotive. So start out as a freshman. They have a class that lasts for a semester as freshmen, and then they go on to the sophomore year, and it's a 2-period class where they learn basic automotive skills that would, go to all different types of vehicles. But then if they go to the Ford house, then they start to learn the actual Ford-specific stuff.
So an interesting thing that a lot of the instructors don't realize is how much software and computer skills the students need to come into the automotive industry. They really think that it's hand tools and techniques that they need, but in reality, the hardest thing to teach is the technology side of the computers. And so when the instructors will ask us every year, hey, what skills are we lacking when the students come to you? One of the biggest ones is typing. So the amount of typing and computer skills that they use every single day is probably 50% of their time in the shop.
Wow. I would not have thought like typing and technology would have anything to do with, cars. But I guess, like you just had an issue with your pickup this week, and it was all computer related. So
yeah, it's all electronics. And I mean, you think about it, you're like, man, a mechanic really doesn't look at, the technology side of it. Or you're looking at wrenches, or you're thinking about, hey, this is this and that. But most of it now is computer-based, or actually technology, electronics. So that's amazing.
And one thing new that we're about to start is we just bought some new computers for the auto tech classes, and Whiteface is sharing some of their Ford specific technology so that the kids can kind of learn pieces of it, a little bit of it, before they even go out. So that's cool.
So Mr. Galland, you've kind of talked about, the process of how y'all bring in students to your program. Can you just talk a little bit more on that and maybe about like how much these students are kind of making and how well they're doing in, the workforce and stuff?
Sure. So a lot of times students think that if they want to be successful in life, they have to go to college and move away and move to a big city, when in reality, we have that right here in our backyard. So being in the service industry, specifically in the Texas Panhandle, is one of the highest income earning potentials you can have. When we go through our program, you come out after the 2 years being certified. And so you've basically fast tracked what would take somebody doing it in our shop about 6 years to achieve. You can fast track it in 2 years. So as a young adult, you're not making much money. It's a lot easier being poor for a short amount of time than it is a long amount of time. So fast tracking is very important. When they come out, they're going to start in our shop at $32 an hour. So their income earning potential is about $50,000 to $65,000 a year. It takes about 3 more years to get master certified. Once they reach that level, they've got the experience and they've done a few more online classes that now they can earn about $45 an hour, which is the equivalent of around $100,000 a year. Once they reach about the 10-year mark, they really know how to do things. They're expert in the field. It's easy to earn at least $60 an hour, and the $150,000 mark a year or more is definitely achievable right here in Hereford.
Are y'all hiring? Just kidding.
We do. It's a unique job. So we have a lot of students that come in as interns, and they quickly find out it just doesn't spark their interest, or maybe there was a lot more problem solving that they didn't realize. So it's not as easy just learning how to use hand tools. You have to be very good at problem solving, very good computer skills, and you have to have a lot of pride in your work. So if those 3 things aren't important to you, it's not an industry you want to go into.
Yes, and I'm sure it's not easy to. Any kind of program like that is going to take a lot of time and effort. So, you really need those students that are really dedicated, which I've seen us have a few of those. So it's been great.
Another neat aspect about the training program is you're actually getting an associate's degree. So you're getting a 2-year degree. So if the event happened where you got out of the industry, you would still have a degree on your resume that you could move into a different field.
We love to see that.
John, how many of your current technicians were Hereford High School students?
So we have 18 technicians currently in the shop, and I believe 12 of them came through right out of high school. We typically try to hire here at home. When the student's family or our employee's family is from Hereford, they're a lot more likely to stay, and it's extremely expensive. It costs us about $100,000 per technician to train them from high school until they're fully master certified. And so we like to only invest that money into somebody we know will be long-term.
That's a great, opportunity to help strengthen our community and our, just local economy, because we like to keep our talent here in Hereford. And if we can keep some more of those talented students just working on our cars and working in our community and giving back to our community as well, it's definitely an investment that we've appreciated, not only as a school district, since these are some of our students, but also as a Hereford resident.
A lot of people think that working as a technician is a really hard job physically. You're going to be hot in the summers, you're going to be cold in the winters. We try to make it as nice as we can for them. So we have an air-conditioned shop. So even in the summertime when it's 110 degrees, it's going to be 70, 75 in the shop. We have great heaters. In the wintertime to keep it warm, we have great lighting, and every technician gets new equipment to help them get the job done. On top of that, everybody gets their own computer equipment, which is not always the case in every shop. And then we also offer up to 5 weeks of paid time off. Once you reach your eligibility for that, we also offer retirement plans and insurance. And so things that you may assume you can only find at a large corporation, you can get right here at a small business in Hereford.
I will say Dr. Carter and I visited the Ford shop the other day, and it was probably one of the cleanest and nicest looking ones I've ever been in. So we were impressed by that.
It takes a lot of work with our farm and ranch customers. The mud and the dirt and the grease and the grime is just everywhere. So it's a full-time job to keep that place clean.
Oh, I bet, for sure. Especially, where we live in general. There's always dirt blowing. So,
Yep.
So Bena, have you seen a difference in our students who have been able to work in these internships and work in these internships and work with these community partners?
Absolutely. I think it's really important for the kids to see what the real world looks like. Sitting in classrooms, you learn, we're trying to teach them skills, but those, what we call soft skills, the work ethic, the showing up on time, all of that kind of stuff that we fight with them at school to not be tardy, but it just comes differently when it's an employer saying the same thing. And working with other people in the service industry, you're, customer service, you're having to talk to people, you're having to communicate well, that type of thing. So all of that, those different experiences, real world experiences, the kids come out with different skills than above and beyond what we're doing in the classrooms.
Well, and I think it's a great thing because, if some kids are like, oh, I want to be a doctor, or I want to do this or that. But then when you get into it, it's so much different from what you see on TV or what you see on TikTok or anything like that. And so, having that experience and kind of getting a head start on, hey, actually, I think I like this, or spending years in education, years in training, then at the end, just kind of figuring, oh, I don't think this is for me. I think it's a great opportunity for our students to kind of get an early start on what they like and what they don't like.
Things out, yeah.
Yeah. So you talked a little bit earlier about how you're expanding some of these internship opportunities. Is there anything like our community can do to kind of get involved in some of this? Is there anything like if we have people listening right now, they're like, I think my profession would be good for students to come into. How can they get that started?
Oh, we would. Yeah, we're always looking for work-based learning opportunities for our students. So we offer 19 programs of study through CTE. So everything from future teachers to automotive, welders, farmers, all sorts of things. And we need industries that'll let our kids come out and work. And so construction's a big one. Heating and air conditioning, that type of thing. Those are kind of hard for us to find places for kids to get. So if anybody in the community has a place where they would like to have an intern, even if they just did a one-day shadow thing or something to give our kids, like you said, the opportunity just to see what the real world looks like and if it might be something for them or not to pursue. They could contact the high school, specifically CTE, and ask for me. And we'd love to get as many partnerships as we could get.
Can you just throw out your email real quick?
Yes, I can. It's Bena Glasscock, which is a funny name, but it's BENAGLASSCOCK at HerefordISD.net. Or they can call the high school, which is 363-7620, and just ask for me.
Great. Thanks, Bena.
And to add to that, one of the events that you've hosted, I believe twice a year, is your CTE community lunch event, where we all get together as community business owners and we get to talk about those opportunities.
Yes, and they would be welcome to that. So we every CTE program has to have what we call an advisory committee. We have to the things that we offer and how we offer them have to be shaped by what's going on in our community for just to make sure that what we're putting out into the world is what the community needs. And so twice a year we meet with those community partners. So if anybody was interested in joining the advisory committee, they're welcome to let us know and we'll add them to the list.
Well, is there anything else that y'all want to talk about in our last couple seconds we have here that we missed?
I'd say for my closing remarks, it's been a joy to be involved with the school and bring in these young adults. They come in and they don't see the future potential ahead of them. And then 5 years down the road, as we've gone through these programs, I get to see these students get married, have children, they get to buy their wife their first new car, they get to buy a house. And it's just a big joy to have those guys come back to me and say, John, I had no idea that I could achieve this level in my life so fast. And I just want to say thank you for the opportunity and the guidance you gave us. And a lot of times it's fun because those guys just assume that I'm up in the office. I don't know what's going on in the shop. And when I go out there and help them solve a problem, it's really, sometimes they're really impressed, and it's a lot of fun for me to show, the little bit of knowledge I have on the mechanical side, but help get those guys to learn some things every now and then.
Well, we definitely appreciate just the support that you give our district and the support that you not only give our students, but also our community as well. Having businesses like you that really give back to our Hereford community just makes a big difference in the lives of all of us. Well, thank y'all again for listening, and thank y'all for coming on to our podcast today. Remember, y'all can catch us on Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, and Amazon Music. There's a lot of places where we are, so just look for us, and we'll see y'all next week. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.